So, despite the transfer window being closed, Luton can still technically sign some players. We can sign some players that are not attached to a football club, that are just free and available to sign at any given point. You could do this in a window or you can do it out of a window. And in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 players which I feel like on paper, potentially Luton could sign. But I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on whether or not we should sign these 3 players that I've picked out on. But before I do, please drop a like on today's video. Comment below any players that are currently available right now for us to sign that you think we should sign. Let me know down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. In the past, Luton have signed 2 players outside a window. Robert Snodgrass and also Andros Townsend. Both have done, I would say, a good job for us. So it's not a bad thing to do, and you should do it if you need to fill a gap. And I feel like there is a few gaps within the Luton Town team, more in the attacking areas, not in the defensive areas. So I've had a look at some players that are available on a free transfer. There was a few, graphics that I've got that come out on social media with a list of players that are free and available to sign, but I've picked out 3 players. One player in particular has been spoken about quite a lot amongst the Luton fan base, but we'll speak about him towards the end. So the first player which I picked out on is a player called Marquinez. Marquinez is someone, I think I've pronounced his name correctly. He's basically 29-year-old attacking midfielder and winger, former Brentford and Bournemouth player. From remembering him in the Championship, he was really good. However, in the Premier League, maybe not so much. But in the Championship, I think that's where his level is. And for someone on a short-term deal, 29, they're in their prime, I think this is something which we could potentially do. He's someone that adds competition in areas of the pitch which Luton currently don't have at the moment. He's a very technical player. He's very good with his passing. He draws flat fouls, just like what Chong does. And he's got experience at winning promotion out of the Championship. However, right now, when I look on social media, he's currently touring in America looking for a new contract over there. So, probably not going to sign him. But he was one player, when I was doing my research, I thought, actually, he could be quite a good player to sign. But actually now, after finding out that he's got a YouTube channel and he's trying to figure out a move in America, we're not probably going to get him, are we? So that's probably one player, and that's out of the question there. But I thought it was one player to talk about. Someone like him, that profile, is something which I think Luton need. I don't think we need to look at elsewhere on the pitch. I don't think we need a right wing back, which I think some people have suggested. We've got Walters, we've got Hashi who can play there. We need wingers or attacking midfielders, strikers. That's the area which we need to look at, because that is currently the area which we are struggling with at the moment. And on the topic of strikers, I think Luton should look at a former Luton player in Aaron Connolly. Aaron Connolly we signed on a loan deal when we were in League One. He helped us win promotion from League One to the Championship. Former Brighton, he worked under Nathan Jones when Nathan was at Brighton himself. But Aaron Connolly, he's someone I believe needs to find a home. And I think we could give him that. Now, I can't believe he's available on a free transfer. He is 24 years old, so there's still years of development there in him. At one point, he was talked about being probably one of the next big, stars at Brighton. But for whatever reason, things just haven't quite worked out, especially in the Premier League and on a few loan spells. He was on loan at Hull last year. And I look at his career so far. He's someone that hasn't found a home. He's been on loan a few times. He was at Hull last year. They've had a manager change. So he wasn't able to be given a new contract and whatnot. But he's someone, I think, he needs to find a home. He needs to find someone that believes in him. But there's question marks about his attitude. And that's why I think he's currently available on a free. It's because he may have an attitude problem, which I hope isn't the case, because when you do look at him, yeah, he does come across like he does, but he's someone, in my opinion, I think has the ability to play out a Championship team. I think he's one hell of a pickup on a free deal, And he's also someone who can improve. His off the ball work is actually quite good. He's very aggressive striker, and he's also different to what we've got. He's very similar to the way Joe Taylor plays. He isn't someone who you boot the ball to and let him hold the play up like a Morris or an Adebayo. So he's completely different. So I feel like he's someone that, one, can add a bit of quality within the team, but two, is also a bit different. So he's someone which I do believe we should potentially look at and could realistically sign. But yeah, like I say, he needs to find a home. But if it's an attitude problem that is going to be the problem, then yeah, we may have to let that one go away. And then the final player, which I've seen people speak about online, is a player who is well known in the football world, especially in England, Dele Alli. Now, local lad, because he's from Milton Keynes. Milton Keynes is very close to Luton. People are comparing him to Ross Barkley. And people are saying that we can do what we did with Ross Barkley with Dele Alli. Ross Barkley and Dele Alli, two players that are, it's completely different. Ross Barkley, for me, was someone who needed to find a place to restart his career. We were able to give him that, and he was able to progress from there. Ross Barkley, which was public knowledge, well, which we all know of, we didn't know if he had any off-the-field things going on. We just thought it was just, he was someone that, you know, was just kept getting injuries, and it kept pushing back his career. We didn't think he had an attitude or if things were going on behind the scenes with him. We gave him that opportunity to restart his career. He gave us his best version of himself. He helped us along the way, and he earned his move. That's what happened with Ross Barkley. With Dele Alli, he's been very vocal on what's going on outside, outside of football. Basically, he's told us what he's been going through, what he's been struggling with. Obviously, ever since, you know, his Tottenham days, towards the back end of his Tottenham days, he has not been the same player. For the last, I think, 4 or 5 years now, he's not been the same player. Now, he's still only 28. He's still got a few more, you know, he's still got loads of years left in him as a footballer. But whether or not we can do what we did with Ross Barkley, with Dele Alli, I'm not too sure. I think Dele Alli, he needs to go to a club that's got no expectations. That's not going to put pressure on him. I think to get the best out of Dele, he needs to let him be him. I don't think we're the right fit for him at the moment. I think we're a club that's got expectations. There's pressure on us to win stuff, to win games of football, to try and win promotion this season. I don't think that environment is good for Dele. And also right now, we've kind of got a losing mentality. Not to say that the morale is very low, but it isn't exactly high, is it, at the moment, since the start of the year. We've not won many games of football. I just think that environment maybe isn't what Dele needs right now. So I don't think the move of Dele Alli coming to Luton is right at the moment. If we were a club that was probably going to get mid-table in the Championship this season, or was expecting to get mid-table in the Championship this season, then yeah, I can see it being an ideal move. But I think he should go to a club that there's no expectation. The club just allows him to be him and let him crack on. That's what I think would be the perfect thing. I know he's suffering with a few injury problems, but that's what I think Dele needs. I think Dele needs to go back to a former coach. And I don't think he would do, but I think going to Carl Robinson, the man who gave him his football debut at 16 years old, I think would be the right thing. But is Dele Alli going to play in League 2 for Salford? Probably not. But that would be the ideal thing for Dele, is to be under people who know him. But I don't know, I could be wrong. You know, Luton isn't miles away from Milton Keynes. He'd be closer to home, closer to people who, you know, love him and care about him. So that could make him, you know, restart his career. And he may look at it and go, well, Luton did this to Ross Barkley, maybe they can do this with me. I'm not too sure, but right now I just don't think it's the right move for him. But yeah, overall, those are my thoughts. Out of the 3 players which I've mentioned, who is most likely to join Luton? Probably Aaron Connolly. I think that would be a really nice move. But whether or not that will happen or not is a different story. I do think we need an attacking player in. we can look in those, you know, the free agents options. But yeah, they're the 3 players that I thought were the best to pick from out of the list I saw. But let me know down below, do you think there's better players out there which we should look at? But yeah, that's it of this video, guys. Let me know if you want to see any other types of videos going forward. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.